Well everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus and see how this particular phone holds up in the later part of 2024. Now, the big thing to keep in mind here, in my personal opinion, is that yes, this phone I think still has a lot of power and it's still very much worth it. Are there phones that are better than this? Yes, but I think this is still a very beautiful phone that has a ton of power and a ton of capability, and I would recommend every single person to go and buy a phone like this. I think it's a very, very solid device when it comes down to it. Now, if you want to pick it up, links are down in the description. You can get it from there for the cheapest prices I find, and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, with the S22 Plus, a very big thing to keep in mind with this type of phone is that this is one of those devices that I think looks beautiful and it's going to hold up so well for the next several generations. With the Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus, this phone is giving you a 6.6-inch dynamic AMOLED display, 1080p 120Hz. It does get 1750 nits of brightness, which isn't the most amount of brightness of all time, but I still think it's pretty decent, and if you're in the market and you want to go and buy a phone, I think this is a pretty decent option. USB Type-C on the bottom, frosted glass back, triple camera setup, and that camera can do 4K at 60 on the front and the back, which is something that's really, really cool. So in my personal opinion, I think that is a really, really cool thing. And if you are going to go through and get a device, I think this isn't, in and of itself, another really cool thing going on for that type of device when it comes down to it. So personally for me, I think this in and of itself is a very, very cool thing. On top of that, you are basically getting this charging, a reverse wireless charging as well in this phone. And I would probably tell you, if you are in the market, from a build quality perspective, this type of phone holds up very, very well. And I really don't have too much to complain about there when it comes down to that side. Now, on top of that, the software longevity of this phone is still there. This phone is going to be supported with software for a long period of time, probably for the next 2 years, 3 years. They say up to 4 major upgrades, so you still have another 2 years, which in my opinion is still kind of a long time. So you are still going to be supported, which is a really nice thing to have. But the big thing I'd probably tell you is that if you are wanting a phone that's going to be getting a big jump from that perspective, it probably is going to be something like a Samsung Galaxy S24. The S24 is going to be one of those phones that's going to be lasting for a significantly longer amount of time. And if you are wanting the phone that is going to be lasting for a longer period of time, it's going to be the S24s, but I think the S22 Plus is still a very good phone when it comes down to it as well. From the performance side, I compared this phone against every single phone you can probably imagine, and that chipset, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset, I think is still a very, very powerful chipset for the most part, and you're still getting 8GB of RAM on this thing too, which I think is still a very, very large amount of RAM to have inside of a device. If you are going to go through and pick up a phone, I think this is a very solid option from that particular perspective as well. You're not really going to be complaining about the performance too much on a phone like this, because I genuinely do think the performance of this phone is still up there for sure. So overall, what I probably would tell you is that a phone like the Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus, I think it's still a very good, very powerful phone for the most part, and I would highly recommend every single person to go ahead and buy a phone like this, right? I think this is a very good device. I think it has a lot of power, and I think it should be a phone that majority of people go and kind of consider. And I will tell you, if you are in the market, these types of phones make a lot of sense. But if you want to, spend a little bit more money, the S24s I think are very, very good options to go and upgrade to. So that pretty much covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.